When you hear the loud drums beating, and see the colorful banderitas hanging, and also the beautiful exaggerated dresses, and lots of people, you know that you're in that special time in Cebu, and that is Sinulog. If you're not familiar with Sinulog, it's a ritual that happens every third Sunday of January, with lots of street dancing from different tribes and communities, and even from different countries. Aside from dancing, it's also the time where kids and teenagers such as me go out for the street parties. This event takes months of preparation and also some rituals performed before the day comes. You definitely know that it's Sinulog when you see a distinct image of a child who the Sinulog queen always carry and dance with. And the reason why there are thousands of devotees who flood in the Basilica del Santo Niño. Why is this such an important ritual to Cebuanos? Is it really the acceptance of Christianity to our society? Was this a practice done way before the Spaniards arrived? Or was there a God before the image of Jesus Christ was introduced that our ancestors have embraced? Viva, Señor Santo Niño! Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night if you're about to sleep. Hi, my name is Phil and welcome to another segment of Freaky Filipino Friday with Phil. Rar. Sorry I don't have a Santo Niño with me, so I'm just being resourceful. And yeah, I have a flag with me, right? Wow, cool. Yes, it's better for the ambience. And so nationalistic, right? And it's that time of the year. It's Sinulog. Party party! Which I haven't celebrated for quite a while now. Of course, I'm not in Cebu anymore. And also Sinulog has been cancelled, sadly. But this is also for a good cause. Because the pandemic is still, active. Like seriously, Filipinos, stay at home. Because we are overpopulated, come on, man. We just like making babies. And please practice your devotions at home. The church has already prepared online masses. And if you're old school, you may watch the television. So anyway, we're gonna talk about Sinulog, the Cebuanos, Santo Niño, and Santonilyo, and how everything connects. As a Cebuano, I dearly love my culture and also the rich history. Since I was a kid, I was like a curious cat. I keep asking why is it like this and why do we do that and blah 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 and stuff like that. Well, there are explanations from my parents and grandparents, but most of them are tales. And some history books are not explained thoroughly and sometimes not accurately, sadly. But around 2016, I found this article about Filipino mythologies on the internet. Yes, I remember the year 2016 because ever since I discovered this website, I was hooked. Caught me like a bangus fish. This site is called the Aswang Project. The Aswang Project was created as an educational resource to share the rich, colorful, and diverse folklore of the Philippines. This was not even created by a Filipino, but a Canadian. Though a foreigner, he has devoted himself to dig up old stories and correcting the inaccuracies of our history. And his work is detailed, flawless, like my brown skin. Plus, he's very accommodating. Like, I've asked him multiple questions throughout the years, and he would simply answer me back. Like, I've read a lot of his work, actually. But one of the articles that he wrote was about Santo Niño and also Santonilyo and how was it introduced. So I will introduce it to you guys and also the old stories that we were told. For most of us Filipinos, we know that Christianity was introduced to us around 1521 when Magellan landed in Cebu from his exploration to the Spice Islands. Yes, we were not a priority. Now we were just like a booty call. Magellan planted a cross on Cebu and introduced the child of Jesus to Raja Humabon, who was the king of Cebu around that time. When the image of Jesus was handed to Hara Humaymay, who was the queen, started to dance immediately. While holding the image of Jesus, she and her 800 followers started dancing. Yes, she has followers. Well, yeah, that's already big before, They didn't have Instagram before. And they call this dance Sinulog. So Sinulog comes from the Cebuano adverb sulog, which means the movement of the water current. So the dance consists of 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. This is why the dance movements and choreography in the Sinulog festival mimics the flow of water. So the Cebuanos were converted to being Roman Catholics, and the names Raja Humabon and Hara Humaymay was changed to Don Carlos and Queen Juana. If you have watched a Sinulog performance, this is the basis for Sinulog dances, where you see a queen leading a group of people on the streets. But wait, it was also believed that the steps were originated from the advisor of Raja Humabon named Baladhai. One day, Baladhai fell into a very deep, severe sickness that cannot be cured. Like they tried everything to cure him, like nothing works. Out of sadness, Raja Humabon sent Baladhai to the room where the Santo Niño image resides, and along with the images of the other pagan gods. But after a few days passed, Baladhai was found dancing and shouting happily outside, and people were like, "You were supposed to be dying." But then he explained that there was a child while he was sleeping, and this child was on top of him, trying to wake him up and tickling him with a midrib of the coconut. To his surprise, he scared the child away. What the heck, where did this child come from? So the child got up and started making fun of Baladhai like any other Filipino child would do. While instead of being angry, he danced with the child and mimicking the movements of the river, and he explained to everyone that it was the image of Santo Niño who woke him up and cured him. And that's where the devotees got their dance from. So if you're an avid fan of the Sinulog dances in the festival, you can see this representation in the free interpretation category. You often see another guy dancing alongside with the queen, and he represents Baladhai. Sometimes there are 2 men because the other guy represents Raja Humabon. And also in the free interpretation category, dancers would tell stories about resurrection, healing, and also good harvest. And there you have it, the end. Oh, just kidding. You know me. Let's go deeper. Religion and dancing have gone side by side in different cultures, and that includes the pagan religion. Early accounts have noted that Filipinos have been dancing with their pagan gods, especially when they praise or give honor to them. And usually they carry this image and dance along with it. So when you see the Santo Niño, you see this image. But was it the first image that Magellan gave out to Queen Juana? Well, according to Antonio Pigafetta, an Italian chronicler to the Spanish expedition, so Magellan handed the image to Pigafetta and gave the newly christened Queen Juana right after her baptism. But it wasn't clear how the first image really looked like. Some say it was the image of the Holy Infant of Atocha, or Santo Niño de Atocha, because this image is well known in the Spanish culture and also including the Latin Americas. It is distinctly characterized by a basket he carries along with his staff and drinking gourd, and he is seen sitting down. Well, that's the main difference actually, because Santo Niño de Cebu is not sitting. While many historians consider the facial structure of the statue made from Belgium, where Infantries of Prague statues were common. Well, take a look, it's really similar. Well, as the story goes, Magellan died in Mactan after the conquest in invading the island, and the rest of the Spaniards left, leaving also the image of Santo Niño. According to some accounts, that the Cebuanos wanted to initially destroy the image because they didn't want anything to do with the Spaniards anymore. Thank you next. But instead, they regarded this image as their animistic god of creation, Bathala. So 44 years after the death of Magellan, the Spaniards returned to the Philippines under the command of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. They specifically went to Cebu to find out the Cebuanos were hostile to them. So this angered Miguel. Like any other colonizer, he ordered his men to burn the village, like how you should resolve any dispute. On April 28, 1565, the Spanish mariner Juan de Camus found the statue in a pine box amidst the ruins of a burnt house, and the image has the striking resemblance of Santo Niño, like it had the golden sphere on his hand and also wore the loose velvet garment. So Camus presented this image to Miguel Lopez and also the Augustinian priest, and they asked the natives where they got this from, and the natives refused to associate that it was a gift from Magellan, claiming it had existed way before the Spaniards came, like it was their god ever since. and some of the natives would say that it was their god Santo Niño. So let's talk about the legend of Santo Niño Agipo. Agipo means driftwood if you don't know, okay? So this is a tale long before the Spaniards came. So there was a native who went out to the sea and he wanted to fish, but he couldn't catch a fish for the whole day. And you know that sucks because, under the heat of the sun, not fun. But finally, he felt a weight on his net, and then he started to pull it. And then he saw, well, it's not a fish, a driftwood or a gipo. Out of frustration, he started to curse and threw it back to the sea. And soon after, he felt another weight from his net. Again, he brought it in, and it was the same piece of wood. And then he threw it again, and over, he would still catch the same wood. Finally, he got tired and so frustrated, he just kept the wood with him. But like magic, all the fish flocked towards him, and he was like, whoa, oh my god. He was just amazed. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna tell everyone about this. So he returned to the village with bountiful catch, and the people were like, oh my god, this wood is magical, and they believed that this wood was a god. So they would use this wood in different ways. Sometimes they use this as a scarecrow to scare off the birds in their fields. And in times of drought, they would bring the wood back to the sea and immerse it, and rain starts to fall. Now, it was then that this Agipo became an idol in their pantheon, a god of graces. Soon after Magellan's demise, it is believed that the practice of bathing the image of Santo Niño in the sea during the droughts began. It was told that the natives had only to immerse the icon in the sea and the rains would come back. So this practice of immersing the sacred image is also mentioned in the Santo Niño's Gozo prayer hymn published in an 1888 novena. Kung ulan ang pangayoon sa imong pagadugayon, dadun ka sa baybayon ug sa dagat pasalumon, ug dayon nila makuha ang ulan nga gitinguha. Until now, Filipinos would still bring their Santo Niño image to the sea and in hopes of ending drought. And I would like to connect the story of Santo Niño to one of the rituals during the Sinulog month. The Santo Niño Fluvial Parade is a significant and mainstay event of the yearly Cebu Sinulog celebration. So this is an annual event held every third Saturday just before the Sinulog event. So every year, hundreds of devotees would go alongside with Santo Niño in the waters of the Mactan Channel to show their devotion. And this event takes place in the sea, just like the story of Santo Niño. Now, this is a magical moment, okay? Don't get me wrong. Now, you could see how Filipinos adapted their belief despite the Spaniards tried to suppress it with Christianity. Their belief is still strong, even though they're Christian, but, the practice is still there. So the image of Santo Niño is the oldest Catholic relic in the Philippines alongside with Magellan's cross. The image of Santo Niño reached to different places in the Philippines and also made different versions from it. So the current Santo Niño found in many Filipino homes, don't lie, some of you have it, is traditionally dressed in either green or red. In the Filipino folk Catholicism, red garments are suited for image enshrined at home, while the green ones are used to enshrine in business establishments. And for the green Santo Niño, you may give candies or coins to it or different offerings. Believe it or not, my father gave like a 1 liter Coca-Cola. And also, in addition, many Filipinos customarily dress the Santo Niño in modern attire that reflects their professional roles such as nurses, doctors, engineers, or whatsoever. They do this as a means of asking for patronage. Also, the Sinulog festival made a great influence to the other islands of the Philippines. Now, other islands have their own versions of festivals in honor of Santo Niño. So, the influence of Santonilyo is very much within the Cebuanos. Yes, Santo Niño is considered as the official patron of Cebu, okay? It's very clear. Well, also, same as Santonilyo was an idol deity of graces before Christianity owned everything. then again, the Church of the Philippines tried to suppress this belief, and they instead integrated it that this Santo Niño is actually Santo Niño, which is Jesus himself. Some say that Santo Niño spawned out from the image of Santo Niño, but basing on history and gathered documents, the popularity of Santo Niño owes itself to Santonilyo. Sorry, sometimes I kind of switch it, Santo Niño, Santonilyo. Well, if you ask me, well, it kind of makes a lot of sense because I've never seen such a group of people, such as us, Cebuanos, who have this strong devotion of the image of Santo Niño. It's like the whole Cebu, okay? Well, you can see this with other regions of the Philippines. Like they have their own thing and they have their own practice and stuff like that. But Cebu has its distinct way and also a long process just to celebrate Sinulog. Well, I'm not religious, okay, by the way, but don't get me wrong. I grew up in Cebu my whole life. And I could see how Santo Niño brings great joy to the Cebuano. It just gives hope and happiness despite how harsh life is. Well, I don't mind if you call this practice pagan or it's too religious. Well, it's my culture and I love it. We're not sacrificing humans, are we? I believe our practices should be kept alive also to maintain the integrity of our culture. Though we still have the pandemic, there are different means to practice our beliefs. Now we have the internet, guys, come on. So what are your thoughts, guys? Just comment down on the comment box below. And please don't forget to subscribe me, okay? And ring the bell for a notification. And you can also follow me in my different platforms. I just put the link down below, okay? Just do what you want. And remember to stay safe, stay healthy, stay freaky, and Viva! Pete Señor! Sinulog, sinulog, sinulog,